Welcome to Club Reddit, where being a member is always free. Simply smash that subscribe button and relax into a new video each day. Up first we have entitled Mother and Kid Try to Steal My Cat from My Backyard. Turns out entitled mother's trying to steal a pet from my block for her kid. No joke. This literally happened and my cats are now locked inside. On mobile. To make a long story short, my cats were lead trained to stay in the backyard, so I can let them outside when they're energized. I check on them every 5 minutes and they have stacked outdoor furniture they love to hide in. One cat is very skittish around strangers, and she'll hide, while the other will only bolt if he's wary or energized. Both cats have a "I'm tolerating you" relationship, so when I looked to check on them I was startled to see them both in a corner together. Then I saw the kid and her mother cornering them. I was pretty angry and rushed out and started yelling at him, scaring the mom and her kid pretty badly. Of course, when my cats saw the open door they rushed to it and the mom tried to grab them. The female cat lashed out and clawed her hand good, making the entitled mother yell and recoil, letting my cats escape inside. The entitled kid started crying because the pretty kitties got away and she wanted a kitty cat now. Entitled mother yelled at me that she was going to report me for assault, while I yelled from my back door that I was already on the phone with 911 reporting her for trespassing and attempted cat theft. She screamed at me in rage, before grabbing her wailing kid and storming out of my yard. I had actually dialed 911 and the dispatcher heard the exchange, and assured me that if the entitled mother did try to report me it wouldn't work because she was in the wrong. About 10 minutes later cops pulled up and I gave my statement, descriptions, and pointed which direction entitled mother and entitled kid had fled. The cops wrote it all down, before one told me that I wasn't the first to call from this area. Apparently the entitled mother had been attempting to lure out other pets her kid wanted. The cops were just trying to figure out who she was. No one, including me, recognized her or her kid, and she was getting more brazen. My yard was actually the first they had trespassed into. My cats are now being locked indoors for the foreseeable future, and I've warned a few of my neighbors who I know have pets about this in case they didn't know. This entire situation is honestly just bull, as there have already been incidents involving getting pets because of the global situation. But stealing one from their loving family is a low all on its own. Next up is my entitled parent boss loves giving food we pay for to his family. For Christmas, at the company I was doing my internship, we decided to do a small dinner at our office and we hired a restaurant to bring us the food. Basically, we each had to pay for our own meal plus an extra for the delivery service. It was a fine restaurant, so the cost was more or less $55 per person depending on what they ordered. Because HR equals party planning committee, I was in charge of taking the orders of all the employees, 38 people, the money and doing the order. When it was my boss' turn, the man told me some very important members of an allied company were close by and he had invited them. As guests it was obvious we couldn't charge them, so he proposed the idea of collecting a little extra fee to pay for their meals and then told me what they had ordered. Well, whatever, it's just $4, so not a big deal, right? I did another round picking our new extra fee and explaining the reason. While everyone was kind of mad, most of them just gave the money without saying much, except for one secretary who rolled her eyes while giving me the money and said something along the lines of, "Sure, important businessman," in the most sarcastic voice you can imagine. Dinner comes, everyone is already in their seat on the impromptu banquet hall we created, except for our 3 mystery guests. Midway through the event, our boss wife casually appears, which is not weird per se as she comes a lot to the office when she is nearby, but it's 8 p.m. and there is no logical reason as to why she would be in the neighborhood at that hour. My boss calls my co-worker, who was the one in charge of distributing the food, and I can see how he takes out the 3 extra meals, gives them to our boss who then gives them to his wife. They literally did this in front of everyone, no hiding at all. The wife then happily said goodbye to everyone, food in hand, and left the building. I am kind of flabbergasted but was able to ask my co-worker what happened with our guests and why was boss wife taking the food with her. He explained that our boss told him the men had cancelled and that his wife had to work late, meaning she hadn't prepared food for herself or the 2 teenage kids. Not wanting the food to go to the trash, he decided to give her the plates. The plates we paid, without even asking us. My co-worker just shrugged and said, "He is the boss." The secretary I mentioned before was close and saw my face, boiling with anger, and laughed. She told me the man pulled something like this every time there was a party, dinner, reunion, etc. It was not the first time my co-workers had paid for his family's dinner, and it probably won't be the last, according to her. They had just accepted it, and because he always made a credible excuse, it was hard to evade the thing or expose it. And there was that, no shouting, no crying, no legendary confrontation, just me sulking in the corner about my boss being a cheap prick. And our final story today is: my mother hates it when I talk about abuse. She seems to have forgotten all about it. I'm a college student now, but before, it was bad, okay? I should add that I am Korean. Those who are familiar with Korean education should know that this country is an abuser's paradise. Anyway, clears throat. I used to be one of those gifted kids. My siblings she already gave up on, I was her last wild card. She wouldn't send me to college unless it was Ivy League, she said. So what does she do? Makes a 6th grader sit down and solve calculus. Watches her the entire day to see if she cheats. Doesn't let her sleep until she finishes a chapter. Oh no, she cheated. I have lost faith in you. Continues to kick her in the chest until she struggles to breathe. You're never going to win, she says as she closes my bedroom door so that none of my family members would come help me, not that they ever cared. Don't bother asking them for help. Try imagining a day like that, and then imagine 10 years like that. Physical abuse hurts, trust me. But the worst part is knowing that your house is a prison and your mother is the guard. Your crime? Not getting a perfect score on an exam. It's knowing that you have no way out and no one to help you because she's your mother. The anxiety rising in you as you come home from school, report card folded carefully and hidden in your underwear because you know you just want to have a peaceful night. That was never a guarantee. I will never understand the full consequences of the abuse since it was the norm in my life. I first realized I was going through abuse when I was in high school. I realized she was not a good person just for being my mother. I confronted her. I asked her if she was sorry for what she did. Then she sounded more hesitant than I have ever seen her. She said she has always believed what she did was right. She was not sorry. She comments on my mental illness. Why can't you control your emotions? She asks. Why are you so rude to me? As if I am the devil and she the angel. Or, you think you have depression, but you don't. Quit playing video games and that will cure you. But the breaking point for me was when she commented on a child abuser on television. She said she couldn't believe how vile people could be. I told her that she's just like that person, and oh boy. She launched into an angry rant about how much money she poured on my education, how she is so sad because of how her daughter treats her and how she deserves better in her life. After that, every time I would mention abuse, she would call me a coward for resorting to that matter, when it has been in the past. Yeah, I'm the coward for wanting to find peace with my abuser. Or maybe you are, mother, for denying what you did. Shrug emoji. If you enjoyed any of these stories, please give this video a thumbs up and tap that subscribe button. It helps our channel grow and we greatly appreciate your support. Thank you.